Hello and welcome back to Byron's Adventures. When we left off, we were in a war with the Kaoses, and we're going to try and see if we can do something about them in this episode. And I actually had an army very close by to me, just disband out of nowhere. I have no idea why. Must be cohesion, because they weren't losing units due to starvation or anything like that, so it must have been a loss of cohesion. Maybe the leader just didn't have enough influence to keep them together. Anyway, we have Adram right here. I don't think... Oh, it actually worked. Okay, great. Very nice indeed. Usually that never really works for me, so very nice to see that. Okay. Right. Okay, yeah, now we have been able to persuade this fellow in the past. Oh. Alright then. Alright then, Adram, welcome to the club, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's actually fantastic because I think he did hold a couple of things. I think he might have had Gauss Castle under his command. Let me actually just take a quick look at him because I think he does. Yeah, no, he had Sahel Castle. He had Sahel Castle, which is actually perfect for us. You know why? Because now we don't have to go back down there and actually take it because now it is just where is it now? There it is. So it is just automatically taken and we don't actually have to run all the way down there and, you know, fiddle around with it. So that's really good. That's actually really nice. Okay, so yeah, otherwise we are continuing our rampage across the land. And I'm going to be giving this to Adram because, come on, he's a new vassal. We need to give him something worthy of his title. And Poros is a pretty good town to have because it's all the way down here. There it is. And what I'm going to be doing now is I will try... Now, here's the thing. As I said to you before, there was a large army nearby to me, and I wanted to attack them. They had about 800 units, but they had a lot of high-tier units as well. So my plan was to kind of stick around them until they started to lose units due to starvation, because then it would give us a little slight advantage here and there. And I thought, oh, okay, yeah, that's probably a pretty good plan to have. And then as soon as I started chasing them, or not chasing them, but kind of shadowing them a little bit, they disbanded. And as a result, I was able to speak to Mr. Adram, and that's when you came in, and you could see exactly what was happening. So yeah, that's pretty much it, which is fantastic, actually. It worked out very, very well indeed. And we now have a pretty significantly powerful clan joining us, which is great. Because usually these persuasions either go one of two ways. Either I fail the persuasion completely, and as a result I'm not able to even get to the point where I might be able to persuade the opponent, or I get to do that and then they ask for literally like 5 million gold or something like that, which is just, I think that's just ludicrous. Anyway, I'm actually going to go here and see if I can help out my friend here, and we're just going to do an auto-resolve, get him out the way real fast. There we go. And we're going to increase our relation with that clan. We're also going to increase the relation with this clan because we're going to be letting him go, of course. And I'm going to continue to look for decent tier cavalry. Yeah, there's a couple of Kaoses there. I really wish I could recruit heavy horse archers. I think if I place them in the garrison, I might actually be able to do that. I think someone mentioned that in the comments, so I do appreciate that. So maybe I will take the heavy horse archers. I don't really like the heavy lancers at all, so I'm not going to be taking those either. I'll take the elite cataphracts because they're actually really good units in my opinion. So we'll take those and we'll put them in a nearby garrison, if I have one nearby, that is, to put them into, because I don't think I really own anything nearby. Let me actually just take a quick look. What's really cool, by the way, about the display of the various names and things on the world map, I don't know whether you've noticed this. You probably have, but only recently it dawned on me that it's actually very easy to tell what things I own in comparison to others. So, for example, we know 100% that I own Hubyar, right? Well, yeah, look. Hubyar, we know that, right? Because we've been there so many times. Now, here's the thing. Look at this. The icon. the emblem next to the name is mine. So all I need to do is look for that, and then I will know exactly which towns I own, which is fantastic, because that means that at a glance, I will be able to see exactly where I need to go, when I need to do it, and so on and so forth. And that means that Phykeon, as you can quite clearly tell, is the closest garrison to me. And yes, I know, it's pretty obvious, but I thought that I would just say that, you know, that's a thing, because maybe some people don't know, and like me, you know, maybe you're a little bit dense about it, so, you know, I thought I would share my very recent discovery that I should have probably discovered many, many moons ago, but apparently I didn't for some reason. Anyway, Argeron has now been taken. Yes, by the way, Argeron was... I had a look at that, and Argeron is literally defended by like 100 units or something, so I'm not surprised that it was taken that easily. So we will be giving it to Lukon. I am going to be attempting to kill Kanujan right here. We have Zeno coming along with us right here, which is really nice of him. There we go. And I think I'm actually just going to go in against this guy. I don't really want to do an auto-resolve unless the auto-resolve is going to be overwhelmingly powerful. And yes, okay, you know, we have a pretty significant advantage here in terms of our power, and their power level is pretty bad, but I think we'll do all right. And here they come. The horse archers are being shot by me, actually. They are being shot, and I am actually hitting them, amazingly enough. I would not usually expect to hit... yeah, so, you know, that's hilarious. As soon as I start commentating, I'm like, oh yes, let me just miss every single arrow that flies through the air. Sounds like a good plan to me. Oh, that was a nice spear attack, though. Gotta say that. Yeah, I'll pat myself on the back for that one, because I really didn't think that that was going to result in any kill whatsoever. But of course, it probably just makes up for the, you know, thousands of times that I have missed a wonderful thrust with my spear. So we're just going to tell everyone to charge in, basically. I've told my horse archers already to charge in, and we will now tell our infantry and things, and hopefully that will be... Oh yeah, I can just feel that as soon as my cavalry charges in, my horse archers are going to start picking off many of the wounded opponents, and then we should have a pretty easy domination of their forces here. We've got to be a bit careful though, because of course my horse is really injured, and as we've seen multiple times before, Byron, if he's on foot, he's pretty weak because he's wearing some extremely heavy armor. Oh dear. Woohoo. That was close. I thought to myself, no, horsey, you're gonna die from falling damage. Yeah, that would be pretty awful. Anyway, whenever he gets off his mount, he is so incredibly slow. His weight is really high. Yeah, I'm not talking about his body weight here. I'm talking about his armor. Yes, thank you. I mean, Byron doesn't... He's not that fat, is he? I don't think he's that fat. But he is pretty short. That's the thing. He is pretty short, because if you remember at the very beginning of the series, I actually made him into a much shorter character. And there's a good reason for that, because of course, if he's going to be on a mount, I would like him to be closer to the ground, so it's easier to hit people from horseback. That's basically what I had in mind there. But anyway, there's the victory. We ended up losing 11 units, which I think is probably better than the auto-resolve that we would have otherwise faced. And this guy actually, in my opinion, had a lot of high-tier units. He was the leader of the army that I was shadowing beforehand. So, pretty cool to get him defeated so that we don't have to worry about him in the future. Yeah, look at this guy. He literally had like super hardcore amounts of these fellows. They're really difficult to deal with, at least for cavalry-based armies. At least I think so. Let's take some of those heavy horse archers as well. And there we are. We can take that. And I think that's it. Yep, I think that's it. That's all I really want to take. So what we're going to do is I will be heading on over to Phykeon, which is one of my fiefs, of course, now that we have defeated a couple of vassals. That's all I really wanted to do. And yeah, Phykeon is over here, which is pretty close by, I think. So it's pretty nice. And otherwise, we're going to probably come and help this army take this. Are they going to take that? I'm actually not sure where they're going right now. They're probably going to raid that village. We have a number of people giving chase to this army right here. I'm a bit worried about that, actually. I feel like they might suffer a defeat. Let's just keep an eye on the text box because you never know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. It seems like... No, they did it. Oh, nice. Good job. Good job. I actually was a bit worried about that, as you know. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, well, anyway, let's manage some prisoners here. And let's just try to gather those that we can get. Let's just put all of them in there, and then I'll just take the ones that I want to keep out again. And I think they sort them... Oh, no, they don't sort them by rank. Or maybe they do. I'm not entirely sure, because they go all Imperials, then Khuzait, then Azerai, and they do it in order of rank as well. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. Okay, I did not realize that beforehand. It's apparently an episode of Discoveries, is it not? Yes, crazy, crazy. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm probably going to go to one of the nearby castles just to try and consolidate our territory just that little bit more. Because, of course, these two castles right here, they're a bit of an eyesore, aren't they? We really don't want them to be breaking up the unity of our wonderful territory. And, well, we'll see how that goes. Wait a minute, there might... Okay, yes. Okay. Instead of that, we're actually going to be going and hunting down this army, because this army right here needs to die. They need to be destroyed in every single way, because otherwise they're going to be able to do something quite significant, whether that be taking something that is lightly defended, or just being an overall nuisance. I would like to try and eliminate them as best as I can. Oh, Yara! Yara's coming out there. Look at that. She's coming out there. She's doing the business right there. All right, so yeah, we're gonna just go in here against the opponent, because even though again the combat strength is pretty significantly enough. What? Look at this. Did you see that? All the horses were just dropped in. Yeah, this is exactly the reason why this particular map, in my opinion, especially for larger battles, is really, really bad. I mean, you can see that quite obviously, you know, from everyone spawning in there. And we have had multiple issues with this kind of map in the past, where the enemy has spawned in a location that you're not actually able to get to without having to go to the out-of-bounds area, because of course you have about 10 seconds before you are either kicked out or killed. I haven't actually... experienced the expiration of the timer yet, so I'm not entirely sure what happens when you stay outside the out of bounds. It's probably an automatic retreat, I would assume, rather than a kill, but who knows. But that's the point. I have experienced the AI being in that area and being us being unable to get to them, which is a big problem. Actually, that is a very, very big problem. So I'm actually hoping that maybe the developers will do something about this map with larger scale armies against each other, because you can see here that it's... I think it's a cool map, don't get me wrong. I think it's really nice because of the... should we say, the various terrain, because you've got some verticality here and there. Like, for example, you've got a wonderful vantage point. Just look at this. This is a wonderful vantage point where I'm standing right now for some archers. And you could just place your archers on the top here, and then the enemy could come over from the other ridge, and then they could just fire at each other, which is obviously not really what you want, because you would much prefer to have your units be at an advantage. But let's just say that the enemy is mostly infantry. Then you're going to have a really great time, because they're going to have to go uphill, and it's going to slow them down, and so on. So yeah, it's a little bit of a mixed bag, really. I would prefer not to be on this map right now, but this is what we have to deal with. And wait a minute, is that the enemy army right there? That is the enemy army right there. Okay, they seem to just be kind of chilling out a little bit. Not entirely sure if I agree with that, sirs, but okay. I guess, yeah, that is actually them. Oh, Griff, I'm so sorry. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Griff. And yeah, this is kind of weird, actually. Yeah, I think I know the reason why they're all standing up there. The reason why they're all standing up there, apart from the fact that it is actually a fantastic defensive maneuver, is that they have a very large amount of Imperial recruits, infantrymen, and archers. Just regular Imperial archers. Really nothing to write home about. Pretty much low quality units. So that's probably the reason why they're taking such a defensive standpoint here. And indeed, it is probably going to result in a lot of kills on their part, because they're going to be able to swarm any cavalry that decides to attack them. And, well, as we know, numbers usually prevail in those cases. You know, you consolidate your forces in a singular area, and then you just clobber anyone that gets too close. And that's exactly what they're trying to do right here. I'm even taking massive damage. So that's not really working out too well for me. Let's tell my infantry to actually charge in, because I haven't actually done that. Ah, yes. My ineptitude knows no bounds. Yes. But anyway, the point is that hopefully we will win just on sheer brute strength here. But yeah, that was a perfect maneuver from the AI, which is really quite encouraging. Because instead of just randomly charging in here and there, you know, they used to do that in Warband all the time. If you're playing native, for example, then you have a situation where, you know, let's just say an enemy has, I don't know, 50 low-tier units, and you have 300, I don't know, Nord Huskars or Swadian Knights or something like that, and you could easily demolish them no matter what happens. And they don't take any defensive position whatsoever, and they just don't care about what you're doing, and they just charge at you straight up, which sometimes happens. Most of the time, pretty much, about 90% of the time, I think that pretty much happens. Some of the time they will just hold position, but they will hold position in random places and won't really think about the terrain. I'm not entirely sure if this is the same thing here, whether it was just random that they were on a hilltop and actually caused a pretty significant bottleneck, because just look at the oh, look, did you see that horse right there? Did you see that horse flying? That was hilarious. I usually miss those moments, and then in the comments everyone's like, timestamp of when the horse is flying in the air, or when someone's flying in the air going jetpack in all over the place. So yeah, I usually miss those, but thankfully I saw it this time. Yes, that was very funny. Okay, but anyway, that bottleneck is very effective for what their purposes needed, and of course they only suffered so much of a defeat because they only had recruits and low-tier units. But if they had Imperial Legionaries and elite Manavlions and so on and so forth, they would be probably pretty victorious, or they would do significant damage to us. So it's pretty cool to think about that the AI is just that much better. So yeah, maybe, I mean, that's the point. Maybe it is literally a coincidence, but I choose to believe not. Or at least I hope it's not, at least. Okay, so we're just going to be letting everyone go, because of course they can and are very welcome to do whatever they want, whether they want to recruit another 500 recruits or whatever, then they are welcome to do so, because they will then be suffering yet more defeat. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm just going to get some more of these guys. More Kaoses. And there we go. That seems pretty good. It seems pretty good to me. Okay, so let's continue onward. And we got the loot, of course. All right, so we have defeated some pretty large amounts of units, and there's Gifor right here. I'd like to speak to him if at all possible. I think he is the leader of his own clan. Wait a minute, it might actually just be one of those times when I'm thinking to myself, that's the leader, and then it turns out that he's not the leader. Gonna give it to Vipon, I think. Generally, I tend to prefer to give it to major vassals rather than minor factions. Aha, it does look as though he is willing to listen, and we gain a critical success. Nice. Okay, good start, good start. Let's try it. Okay, here we go. I'm hopeful that he'll join for free. If he joins for free, this is going to be pretty fantastic. Nope. Okay, didn't join for free, but I do... Okay, he basically joined for free. That's great. Look at that. I can literally... Wait a minute. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to take some of his money. Let's see if... Look at this. I can literally take 500,000 1,000 for 1 dinar and him joining us. Boom. I think that is absolutely hilarious. I have no idea why that actually happens, but that is so cool, in my opinion, for us to be able to do that. I mean, technically, I feel like it should be possible, because if you take a look at Byron's charm skill, look at that. He has 260 charms, so he doesn't even have maximum, which is actually kind of a shame. I really should have spec'd more into social skills, in my opinion. That probably would have made more of a difference. But the point is that they really should be like that. They really should be willing to give us more than what we are asking for, because our charm skill is so high. But obviously, if you think about it, you shouldn't be able to do absolutely anything you want with charm skill, because that would otherwise break the game in many different ways, and you obviously don't want to break the game's balance in such a heavy way. Speaking of that, hello trade skill. Yeah, you know, yeah. If you've seen Pelisor, the trading series, if you've seen the Pelisor trading series that I made, it's fully complete, by the way. I conquered the entire map with that series, and if you want to see what happened, I'd highly recommend checking out the playlist. There's only about 15 videos or something like that, and it is extremely interesting to see exactly what is happening with the trade skill. It is super, super powerful. So maybe that will be changed at some point in the future, because it is just so powerful. But anyway, let's try and see whether we can persuade. Okay. A fail there immediately. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get this guy, because we failed on the first one, and we failed on this one too. That's an 85% chance. Oh, and then we got a critical. Yes, unlucky. Okay, well, I probably won't be able to do that. So I guess I will just fight him then, and maybe next time around I will be able to maybe get him, because I think he has something. I think he has a fief, and I think he probably would have joined us for free, all things considered. So it would have been pretty cool if we could have gotten him. But oh well, never mind. Okay, so let's just take a look at the Highwaymen. They go into Vlandian Champions. I guess we'll take them, because we do have the Disciplinarian skill, and that's going to help us out quite a bit. Those Vlandian Champions are actually pretty strong. Okay, so let me actually just take a look at that guy, right? So what's his name again? Not this? This. There we go. Alright, so he's 49. Does he actually own anything? No. They don't own anything, so it's basically pointless for me to try and persuade him anyway. Although he is a pretty strong vassal, so we would gain some strength from that, but we wouldn't gain any territory or anything of the like. So yeah. Anyway, what we're gonna do is I would actually like to take a look at Byron's age, because he's still alive and kicking. He's 98. Do you think he's gonna make it to 100? I'm taking bets. Anyone thinks he's gonna make it to 100? Leave it down in the comments, because I don't know. I don't know right now. I'm thinking that yes, he probably will, but I'm also thinking maybe not. I don't know. It's kind of a bit. I'm a bit in two minds about it. All right, so we're continuing to take things. We've taken Takor or Takor Castle, and this is actually, wow. Everyone says that I should give it to Oros. I guess I'll give it to Oros then. Why not? Why not? I mean, if everyone says so, then I might as well. I was thinking of giving it to the other fellow, because he has no fiefs. But, I guess we'll just leave it the way it is, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so otherwise, we have another army running around there. That's ours, of course, so nothing really to worry about there. We have Chinopsis Castle. I'd like to take that if I can. Yeah, I would like to take that, because, as I've said before, consolidating territory is really, really important for us in general. Oh, look at that. Kanojan is actually on his feet already. What a crazy guy. Literally. Did you see that? And he's actually running after one of my armies, which is kind of weird, considering that army outnumbers him, so they should be able to defeat him pretty easily, but I guess if they're having a different objective in mind, then they will, of course, end up doing that. All right. So let's do a little siege here, and I'll just get these things built, get a whole bunch of trebuchets and so on and so forth, and then we'll just get these siege towers and things. I know that I said in a previous episode that these things are just generally good to build, in my opinion. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go for an auto-resolve. Boom. There you go. Thank you, by the way. Someone told me about this button down here. I just, for some reason, I never saw it. And basically, you can just press it straight away, and then it immediately ends the auto-resolve, so you don't have to sit there and kind of watch the numbers go down. So, yeah, it's actually pretty cool. And thank you very much for letting me know about that, because that really saves me a whole bunch of in real life time, and that's pretty cool in my opinion. It's a nice little quality of life improvement. Okay, so there you go. We took the castle with pretty minimal losses actually. We only lost like 39 units. Of course, we did take many more losses in the form of wounded troops, but in my opinion, that is really not a big deal. Apparently, no one likes Gifor. No one likes Gifor whatsoever. Everyone wants this to go to Ospia, so I suppose I will, again, just give it to Ospia. Don't worry, I will be giving something to Gifor, but I'd like to just kind of reinforce a couple of our other vassals first, and make sure that they're okay, and then go on from there. So we do have another castle over there. I am pretty significantly wounded, so I'm hopeful that my medicine skill will do a pretty decent job of getting us back up to full strength by the time that we actually get to the castle. And then I should be able to take it. Ooh, yeah, there's more people here. Yeah, this might be a bit problematic. Okay, so I'm going to just call for a very quick army here. Wow, there's so many armies. So many armies. Okay, so let's have a look at distance. Okay, so these guys. Anyone underneath 1 day or around 1 day, I will ask to help me. And there we go. All right. And then otherwise, we're just going to chill around here. And then we'll just do a real quick auto-resolve on this castle. I don't really like going into sieges in castles, personally, because I much prefer the larger scale battles. I'm going to give this to Gifor, actually. But, yeah, I much prefer the larger scale battles in towns and stuff like that, because that's where I really do need to get the walls down. And getting the walls down is extremely important in those town sieges, because if you don't do that, then you're either going to have to suffer the casualties from using siege towers and battering rams, in which case I'm not a big fan of that. You know, I'm not a big fan of that. I like to get the walls down if I can. That just seems to be a much safer option for everyone concerned. And yeah, so that's pretty much how it's how it is. But yeah, otherwise, let's have a look here. There we go. Let's get these guys recruited. I love the Crusade units, even though we're fighting against them right now. I really do enjoy using them. They are a lot of fun. And I really wish that we had the opportunity to, well, go and recruit some, to be honest, because we currently can't do that. So, oh, wait a minute. What's happening here? No! Okay, it seems like one of my armies has been defeated. Mantios's army. Where was Mantios recently? Let's take a look. Well, 5 days ago. That's not really going to help. Oh, he's 77. What? Okay, so Policia? Where is that? Aha, it's down here. Oh, he's deep into enemy territory. Look at that. He is deep into enemy territory. Actually, it's not even enemy territory technically, because we actually took these, if you recall, previously in the series. But unfortunately, they seem to have been taken back. Hopefully, they're still relatively lightly defended. So once we're sort of done consolidating our territory in the center here, we should have an opportunity to hopefully take Lycaron, Zeonica, Vostrum, and then take these two once again, and then kind of corner off this section here. So it's much harder for the Crusade to sort of penetrate our defenses and our territory lines. So hopefully that's going to work out quite well for us. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue waiting here for a little bit of time while my army... someone else needs to arrive here. Lucon, there he is. There he is. Get in here, Lucon. There we go. Ready for the party, fellows? Let's do it. All right. So I'm just going to build a siege camp straight up, and then we will just go real quick in, and boom, done. Yeah, we took a whole bunch of casualties right there, but it's mostly my vassals taking the casualties, which is not a big deal, because they will be able to recruit very easily from our relatively large territory now. I mean, you know, they can basically recruit from the entirety of the map, with the exception of the portion that the Crusade owned. So it's really not too bad at all. and we are going to resolve this. I will give this to this guy now because I've already given something to Gifor, so he should be pretty happy with things. And then I will be disbanding my army. So where is it? Where is it? I could just literally go to my army through the cohesion screen, which is much quicker. So I should have done that, but well, never mind. Okay, so everyone's creating armies. That's absolutely fine. And there you go. That's much nicer, isn't it? Look at that. That is much nicer. Now, we still have Onica Castle over there, as well as Lycaron and Marinia Castle even, as well as Zionica. As far as I'm aware, Zionica has a massive garrison, so it's probably going to require an army upwards of maybe 1,200, 1,500 people to be able to take that without too many difficulties. And, of course, I am going to have to lay in the groundwork first by, you know, getting that siege equipment up and running, and then calling for the army so that I don't waste too much in terms of my food supplies. Anyway, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.